because people have, again, they force me and question me, and it's a good thing. But everybody is, what is Candace doing with the podcast? Why is she just asking questions? And this is demonic and evil. She's not an investigator. What is she doing? And I've said here, let's move on to Serial. Anybody heard of the Serial podcast? Remember the Serial podcast? I believe it came out in 2014. A woman named Sarah Koenig. Koenig, I think is her last name. Koenig. About some dude named Adnan Syed, some Muslim that allegedly killed Hae Min Lee, his high school girlfriend. This all happened in Baltimore. And this Sarah Koenig started a podcast called Serial, where she went on every episode and asked a bunch of questions and contradicted and poked holes in the police, what the police said happened. And every episode would kind of end with a little cliffhanger that would make you want to listen to the next episode. And Sarah, and eventually the New York Times bought the Serial podcast. And Sarah made a bunch of money and became kind of the gold standard in true crime podcasting, where women walked you through a story, or even men walked you through a story and just ask a bunch of questions. Never provided the smoking gun evidence. We don't know to this day. And I think Adnan, after spending 20, 25 years in prison, he got sprung from jail, but we still don't know who killed Hae Min Lee. And there was never any outcry. How come Sarah Koenig hasn't solved the case? Where's her evidence? It was just like, hey, man, this is a great podcast. The New York Times picks it up. This is fascinating. And the whole true crime investigative deal took off in the podcasting space. And you know where people like Sarah Koenig got their idea for, doing podcast-style documentaries on true crime events? They got it from HBO and Showtime and everybody else. Does anybody remember Paradise Lost, the West Memphis 3? I think this documentary came out, I believe, in 1996. Make sure I'm right about this. I think the crime happened in 1993. Yeah, 1993. Three little, what would you call them? People like heavy metal kids, teenage kids. Damien Eccles was one of them. Jesse Minskelly or whatever. Some Jesse somebody, Minskelly. But Damien Eccles was the big star. And he liked that kind of satanic rock music. And HBO in 1996 put out Paradise Lost, the first one. And they had been convicted of killing some little kid by a lake or by a river or something. And they said it was part of a satanic ritual. And HBO comes out with this documentary, Paradise Lost, and basically argues that the media and the prosecutor and the police, they concocted this crazy theory of the crime, and they were wrong, and there was nothing wrong with the music they listened to. And Damien Eccles, this wasn't a satanic worship issue, and he needs a new trial. And Paradise Lost, I don't remember all the details. I remember the big themes, and I remember when I watched it, and then they ended up coming out with Paradise Lost 2, Revelation. Then they came up with Paradise Lost 3, Purgatory. And every one of these documentaries by HBO, the first one released in 1996, the second one released in 2000, and then the third one released in 2011. Every one of them pointed to a different person that did the crime. It was like, okay, Paradise Lost 1, it's this guy. It's not Damien Eccles, it's not them, it's this guy. Paradise Lost 2, well, we were wrong about this guy. He actually didn't do it. It's this guy. Paradise Lost 3. Well, we were wrong about Paradise Lost 2. It's actually this guy. Every single one of them. This thing was wildly popular. And eventually, I believe around 2012, 13, Damien Echols and these guys, they got sprung from prison. And I can remember when I discovered and watched all these documentaries, then I started reading books, and then I started going deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole. And at the end of it, after I did all this investigation on my own, just because out of curiosity, I was like, man, Damien Echols and these guys, they did it. And HBO just put out 3 different documentaries pointing at 3 different suspects and eventually stirred up enough garbage to get these guys sprung from jail from a murder that they did. And many of you listening right now will be like, oh, you're wrong. They didn't do it. It was so-and-so. They didn't prove anything. And so all of this deal about Candace, where's the evidence? Where's the smoking gun? That's something drummed up on social media that creates the standard of like, oh, these true crime documentaries and podcasts that have been popular and have been going on forever. It's all different now because of Candace Owens and TPUSA. Now the standard is they must prove beyond a shadow of a doubt who did it. And if they don't do it very quickly, within 3 months, Charlie Kirk was assassinated 3 months ago. Let me walk you through Paradise Lost. The crime happened in 1993. The first documentary came out in 1996. 3 years later. They couldn't prove who did what 3 years later. Then they waited until 2000 and came out with the second one. So that's 17 years later. And they still couldn't prove who killed the kid in Paradise Lost. Then they came back in 2011 with another theory, and they still couldn't prove it. But in 3 months, Candace Owens, unless she proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that Egypt did it, or an Egyptian plane flew into Charlie's neck, or whatever. If she doesn't have some smoking gun in 3 months, she's a demon, and she's demonic, and she's evil. She didn't set this standard. American culture set this standard. That people do podcasts, and they sit around and ask questions about, hey man, this murder doesn't make sense. It's been going on for years. Let me give you the other. Now let me really, really irritate you all. Oh, she's all these incredible speculations about TPUSA. And she said that they did it, that Erica Kirk murdered Charlie, or that Tyler Boyer murdered Charlie. And she hasn't done that, but that's how they exaggerate it, because they need a scapegoat. There go the bad guy, and she's the worst person. And it's not our failure as Christians to defend, support, protect each other. It's not that failure. It's Candace Owens for asking questions. But I want to point out to you, like, what had, before this TPUSA deal, had been the standard, that a conservative could say whatever they wanted over social media, on a radio show, on a TV show. They could crack any joke they want, accusing the Clintons of every political murder imaginable. And we all laughed. And no one said, oh, look how unfair you're being to the Clintons. You've accused them of whitewater or whatever. I can't even remember. And the Clintons are sitting there going, where's the evidence? Where's the proof? But for years, it's a pervasive joke that the Clintons have murdered everybody. Isn't it? I'm just going off the top of my head, but literally, and I could misspeak here, but like, isn't there some guy named Vince Foster that they allegedly killed? No one cried. Any of the conservatives. Let me give you another one. Conservatives. Jason Whitlock, has cracked Big Mike jokes. Conservatives have claimed that Michelle Obama has an 8-inch pecker for years. Crack jokes about it, talk about it. Where's the tears? Where's the how inappropriate it is to Big Mike? This is politics. It's a blood sport. We've been smearing each other in politics since the beginning of this country. And it's only gotten worse in the social media era. But oh, Candace, it's just, she's asking questions about, did people at TPUSA fail in their duty to protect Charlie Kirk? But when I want to crack jokes and say Michelle Obama has a pecker, that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. When I want to blame the Clintons for every crime, when I want to speculate that Barack Obama killed his chef in Martha's Vineyard, that's perfectly fine. Candace is the devil, though. He's demonic. How dare she question TPUSA? How dare she question a political organization collecting hundreds of millions of dollars? How dare she question them? Because, that's a conservative deal. There's no corruption in conservative politics. Everybody knows that. We're evangelicals. We're above corruption. Come on, man. Politics is the enemy of truth. And men do not want to take responsibility for their failure.